Just a pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated.
Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Looks like I got some packages from Amazon, which is always fun. Get some packages, some junk, some hoard. Anyway, so I woke up this morning and I looked outside and I saw a supercharged Scatpack that makes 630 to the wheels, and that's kind of crazy. So it's all kind of new. And for those of you who have done something crazy like this with your car, or just kind of like bought a new car, it's just kind of a crazy feeling knowing that you just did that and it's real. So like kind of like a dream. So let me do a cold start for you right quick. Not super cold. I did drive it earlier today, so a warm start, coldish start. That was a little weird. But since I know a few people commented on it a couple times, yes, my car is a mess. My car is always a mess. It's just kind of how I roll. Anyone who's ever been in my car can attest that it's always a mess. I mean, I even got some of my wife's shoes in here. Go figure. But this is it. It's pretty impressive. I mean, I drove it earlier today and I drove it last night, and it is very fast. I mean, the only thing I can say I don't like about it, other than it just having that hesitation starting up. I mean, it started, but that was kind of weird. I'm sure you guys all saw that. It was weird. It was weird, right? Weird. And a little concerning, but not too concerning, because it sounded like it was just too much fuel or something. And I imagine with a blower adding boost in and stuff, it's probably just gonna kind of always struggle just a tiny bit on that. But so this is the only thing I don't like about it. I mean, it's it's just totally in the way. I mean, it's still like somewhat functional, but it's in the way. So I don't know if it's possible to bring that down or something. But for those of you who are asking, the reason why I didn't go with the pillar pods, because I mean, I love those. They look awesome. I'm tall, and I think I've mentioned this before. I'm tall, so like, this isn't even my normal driving position. I've been trying to sit more upright. So my head is like even with the pillar usually, and so if you get into a side impact, a significant side impact accident, and you don't have your curtain airbag, it's just more dangerous. So, and one of the reasons why I bought such a big, heavy car is to be a safe car. Clearly, you can get something older, lighter, and go a lot faster, a lot easier, and a lot cheaper. That was one of the allures of a new car, is you get a new car with modern safety, modern reliability, modern everything, and you can drive that. So, getting the pillar pod, although it would look really cool, it would kind of impact that. So let's just go on a short little drive here. So let me just try to get you guys a little bit of audio of it, because you can hear the supercharger a lot outside. It's kind of funny because I was showing it to my wife today, because I got home late last night, so she didn't get a chance to check it out. I was showing it to her, and she said it sounds cool, it sounds louder, which it does. For some reason the exhaust is a lot louder, and I'm not quite sure why, or maybe it's just the combination of the engine bay being louder and the exhaust, but it's louder for whatever reason. And she said she doesn't like that whistle sound. She said it sounds like it's broken, or like, something's wrong with it. So I thought that was kind of funny. So you can hear the blow off really loud once you get on it. And for someone who was commenting on I seem scared doing the pulls in it, and it's because I am. I mean, this thing is fast. Like, you know, when you get used to it, I was used to driving this car. I mean, it's only got 6,800 miles on it. I was used to driving it with 430 to the wheels roughly, and now I'm driving it with 630, and that's a big damn difference. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit scared driving this thing. So I'm just driving around a little bit to kind of get the hang of it a little bit more, and I was just going to share a couple of my thoughts on why I did this. So the first mod I did to this car was the Supercharger, and a lot of people think that's kind of crazy. Like, you know, why didn't I go tune first? Why didn't I go with you know, an intake or headers and all that other stuff, or cam? And the big reason for that is the Supercharger just gives you the best value for your money. Let me show you the numbers here. For everybody asking, this is what I paid. But here's the invoice, and this is what I paid for. $9,000 for the Supercharger. The gauge pod was $100. The labor to install the gauges, $125. And the PCM unlock, $250 roughly. So with tax, that totals $10,349. And I paid for the gauges myself, which were about $300 on Amazon. So that brings the grand total for this whole Supercharger project to about 10,600 or so. Yeah, 10,600 or so is a lot of money. And here's the dyno chart. So just like it was on the screen, 629 to the wheels, 569 torque. And as you can see, the horsepower and torque curve are very, very flat, but it makes all its power up high. You know, that's a little bit different, making the power up high than a lot of like root style or twin screw style Superchargers, because they make their power like all across the band. And what I really wanted was this down here. So as you can see, like in the lower RPMs, it's not making a lot of power, and that means it's not making a lot of boost, which means it's basically just driving around like stock. It's not putting any additional strain on the engine and all that good stuff. And when I just like am driving around casually and I give it more than, you know, a quarter throttle on accident or whatever, it's not just going to completely blow the tire off. So I think it's just a better drivable experience. Clearly, if I were going for max power and max quarter mile times, I would have gotten a Roots or, you know, a screw type blower, because they give you more low end power, which will help you launch better and all that. Not that this will be bad, because as you know, a stock 392 can still launch really well. But this is, you know, this is more of a drivable setup in my opinion, and it should help with the longevity of the motor. So why did I get the Supercharger as the first mod? So 10,600. So we're going to go off of wheel horsepower, and we're going to say that this Supercharger gained me 200 horsepower at the wheels, which is right about what it was, right in that ballpark. So that's $53 per horsepower at the wheels. So you kind of wonder, you know, what other mods can get you to that number? And if you think like the combination between intake, headers, and tune, I think that usually will cost you between $2,000 and $3,000, and probably net you about 40 to the wheels, 30, 40 to the wheels, around that neighborhood. So let's see how much it would cost at $53 per horsepower to get to 40. So let's see what that would be. To get 40 horsepower at the wheels, if it costs you $3,000, that equates to $75 per horsepower. As we know, I spent $53 per horsepower, and you add a cam on that. A cam is great. Couple downsides for the cams for these cars: you have to get rid of the, you have to use the phase limiting cams or whatever, where that eliminates your cylinder deactivation. I like the cylinder deactivation. I know everybody has their opinion on it, but I like it. It helps the mileage, and you know how's that? Yeah, that's not something to hate on. I mean, it makes the car sound a little weird when it turns on and it goes into 4-cylinder mode, but you know, big deal. And it can still do that, and it still helps the mileage. You add a cam onto that with those numbers, it's already $75. So a cam would probably net you another maybe 20 or 30 horsepower at the wheels. Let's say 30, and a cam's probably going to cost you around $3,000. Don't quote me on all these numbers, because they're all rough. I mean, everything is, I think the actual prices tend to be higher, and this is all having a shop do it, of course. If you can do it yourself, then obviously the return on investment would be different. So let's add a cam onto that, and let's say a cam, intake, tune, and headers will cost you about $5,000. It will cost you a lot more than that, by the way, but we'll just say $5,000. And let's say it nets you about 70 horsepower at the wheels. That's still $71 per horsepower. It's really hard to beat the value of the blower now, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, like, oh, the first mod is a blower, like, you know, that's dumb. You're supposed to like step up, and it is good to step up, but if you know where you want to end up, you're better off just getting what you want rather than wasting money on other things that you will not need in the future. Headers would help the car be louder, but they wouldn't really bring me much power, and I don't really need that much more power, so it would just be a waste of money, honestly. At this point, I got the car pretty much where I want it power-wise. I'm sure I'm going to want to improve it in the future, but right now it's got really good power. I mean, 600 plus to the wheels is really good, and it should be reliable, but that remains to be seen, of course. And it's just a good mod. It's a good, I think it's an excellent first mod. I mean, if you know what you want to do with the car, then do it. You know, get it. Don't waste money on other things. Just put your eggs into one basket, and you will have a really powerful car, and you will not have spent as much money per horsepower as you would going a different route. I mean, the only thing that was better value is nitrous, and you know, nitrous is temporary, so I don't really factor that in, because yeah, you know, nitrous would give a lot of power, but it's not always there. That's kind of why I did it. And sorry for the video. Not a lot of car in it, but you know, that'll be coming. It's still kind of rainy, as you can see. Actually, you can't see it on the windows, but it's still kind of rainy, so I don't want to go and do anything stupid just yet. But I'm looking for some track days that are open, and I'm also looking for some races. So if anyone's out here in Houston, let's say maybe you got a Hellcat, that would be an awesome race. Hit me up, and we'll set something up, and we'll do it. Definitely happy with the setup I have here, and I would recommend it to people. And I know it sounds crazy, but I think it's a really good first mod, and it's not a bad way to blow 10 grand. So as you can see, the car is like starting a little bit weird, and at times the idle's a little bit weird. So I might take it back to the shop for that. I don't know if it's like normal or not though. I mean, this is my first supercharged V8. I've had turbo cars and stuff, but this is my first supercharged V8. So I don't really know if it should just, you know, purr just like stock and start just like stock all the time and idle just like stock. I don't see how it could, when it's got a big pulley on it pushing a blower, you know, be just like stock. So that's something I can talk to Serious HP about, and just make sure we're all on the same page, and make sure the car and the tune are completely on point, which I think they are. You know, like anything, when you decide to start messing with your car, you can't expect it to be identical to stock. You know, it's not, you know, you want it to be better, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do all the stuff the exact same way and idle the same way and all that good stuff. So anyway, that's it for now. Just wanted to share some thoughts. You guys take care. Peace.
Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated. Weed is engaged in the pavement. Rubber escorts like I'm seeking arrangement. Push the gas, escalate the gauges, escalate hits on the cam girls.